Do you need a mentor in your life? Do you need a business coach? Do you need someone to tell you what to do? Do you need someone to guide you through times that you're not really sure where to go, to give you direction? We've all been there. We've all felt like we're spinning our wheels. We've all felt like we're working way harder than the result that we're getting. We've all felt like we've all had that feeling that I've put in a lot more effort than I've got the return. I've recently had some clients express to me that they feel like they're spinning their wheels. They've put in all this effort and just 1 or 2 pointers given to them. In a couple of weeks, their entire business has turned around. And they've done that really by, one was obviously a mindset shift, not being so defeatist. But the other thing was just giving them the right guidance, which they could have got through years of experience. They could have got that experience through years of working and failure, or they could have just fast-tracked it, and that's what they paid me for. That's what they had me on their team for, to tell them where they're falling short and what to do next. Like you, when I was young, I had this aspiration of becoming a millionaire before I was 30. That was, I remember, in my early 20s and my teens, that was my goal. And 30 seems so far away, but I can tell you it's not so far away. It'll come around a lot quicker than you think. And the thing that you need to be stacking up is experience and knowledge. And the knowledge that you can gain is two ways. You can either live through years of work, live through the failures, whether that's costing you money or time. In some way, it's costing you something. It's going to cost you something one way or another. But what I can tell you is there is a shortcut button, there is a cheat code, and that cheat code is hiring a mentor. Hiring a mentor for your business will fast track you more than you can imagine. The errors that you're soon to make, the mistakes that you're soon to make, you don't even know what they are. You don't know how much failure is set to come your way. It's hard to predict and quantify what's yet to happen. But what you can do is skip all of that. There's things that have taken me years to learn. And now I can pass that on now within within one call to one of my clients. For an online coach, I had to learn some of these things over years of doing business the wrong way until figuring out how to do it the right way, a trial and error approach. And I can now sit on a call and say, oh, try this, do it this way. And it will sound so profound to my mentee. It will sound absolutely amazing because they're like, oh, I never thought of that. But what they don't know is that would have taken them a long time to figure out. Obviously, there's people more intelligent than I am. They would have figured it out a lot quicker. But I feel like I have a good capacity for learning. I feel like I do learn very fast. And that is probably one of my best skills. I would say one of my best skills is actually how the speed of where I can learn. I'm going to be coming out with another video of how I actually learn so fast and how I actually have been skill stacking and how that's actually saved me thousands of pounds on employment when I can do little tasks myself. And within a couple of hours, I can learn web development, learn on how to edit videos and a lot of the things that I'm doing day to day in the business that have saved me early on. And now I can start outsourcing that work. It was mentors that actually shortcutted me. When I look back at my working career, I probably had 4 mentors throughout my working career. Now, they came at different phases. My first mentor came to me at either 21, 22 years old. It was actually a gym owner I bought a partnership with. He's a friend of mine now. And this mentor was the first practical doing person I had met. Everyone before that was a dreamer, not a doer. And this person was actively doing. So what I saw was, actually one of my clearest memories was we had a partnership at the gym together. And I think we were screwing in some equipment, some benches came, and we were screwing them in, a late delivery came, and we, with an Allen key, were tightening the bench presses, the equipment. And I remember getting the Allen key and just constantly missing where I need to put it. I don't know why I had butterfingers that day, but I was doing such a shit job with this Allen key. I think it was my first time using an Allen key, and I was 21 years old. So my business partner at the time, found it ridiculous that I did not clearly use the screwdriver or the Allen key with efficiency. I was doing it just like a wet flannel, as like he would say. I was doing it in such a terrible way. I was doing it in a way which was just costing him time watching. The time that it took him to watch me do that task, he could have just done it himself and just moved on to the next thing. But he actually let me struggle. He stood by and let me struggle until I got quicker and quicker at it. And that lesson was actually a turning point for me, because no one in my family was good at DIY. No one in my family was a hands-on doer. We, a lot of the times, weren't very able in those tasks. We were very good at other tasks. So the actual doing part, the actual ambition that I saw someone have very early on, that was my first mentor. The next mentor, I'd say his name was Ben. So Ben worked at, so I was at a vending company. It was a coffee and vending company where I would go to different offices, call and turn up at offices and say, how many staff have you got? Oh, you got 30 staff. You don't have you're using a kettle. There's a need for a coffee machine. This was one of my first mentors who taught me sales. And he taught me, he wrote me out a script. He told me what to say, what to do, how much I should be on the phone, just calling back to back. Because I had already worked in the call center years before that. So I had that skill of picking up the phone at speed. But what I did not have was talking and understanding prospect. I would just only talk one way. And I remember listening to him talk. He spoke in a way where people listened, and he slowed the pace down to his call. And I remember one of the very early scripts that he had was, just wondering if you can point me in the right direction, when he would call someone. And the gatekeeper often would answer the phone, and he would say, just wondering if you point me in the right direction. I'm looking for procurement or someone who deals with this. And they would often put him through. It was his approach, and he actually gave me a lot of the wording that I still use now, 10 years later, in a lot of my sales calls. So that was my second mentor. That was Ben. And so now I back-to-back had met two good mentors at 21 and 23. My third mentor was Martin. So this person was my sales manager at Virgin Active. And he actually taught me about just working at a higher level. The next thing was becoming a better salesperson that I already had been with the previous company at the vending company. So now it was about refining my skills and actually understanding prospects better. So now every time I would not close someone, he would just say, why did they not join? What could you have done better? How much do you know about them? And he drilled into me so much. And I think I was quite lucky because I was thick-skinned. So I never got offended, which I think there is a piece there about people getting offended when they're trying to learn from someone older. And I would just constantly learn and try to improve until I remember I had a closing ratio for about 2 or 3 months, which was 100%. And it wasn't believable. People thought I was actually messing with the CRM. They would think that I'm actually not logging my failures, because they would be like, no one has 100% closing ratio. I later went to win the salesperson of the year for that company and had all these accolades, but it was very much that I had a really good head start from that mentor. So that's my third mentor. The fourth mentor I had, I would not say had a massive sales impact on me, but he had a leadership impact on me. So this was my general manager at a gym that I worked at in London. And this gentleman, he was able to manage teams at multiple sites without ever feeling, actually, I don't know how he was feeling, but without showing any stress. He never answered a question and said, you know what, I'm not really sure that answer. He always knew the answer to every question I asked. And what I actually learned was, so there was multiple departments. There was obviously cafes and nurseries and the big commercial gyms. There was so many departments. And every department, you would find different personalities. And he would find a way to manage each personality exactly as they wanted to be managed, or they needed to be managed. And he would be able to turn on the heat at the right time. He'd be able to take his foot off the gas and make you feel as though you don't have pressure on you and just let you work at your own pace when you are working at the right pace at the right time. He would know when to push and pull. And this was, I think he's a very underrated leader in his position now. And I think that was my fourth mentor. After my working career, so my first mentor was for me as an entrepreneur. My next 3 mentors were for me in employment. And now for me as a business owner, again, so now as me as a business owner again, I have to actively seek mentors. So I'm not young anymore. I can't find mentors who are going to be my business partners. I'm not young because in my in my company now, I don't have any business partners. So it's just me. So there's no mentor figure like I had when I was young. I'm not employed by anyone. So there's no one telling me actively what to do and what I'm doing wrong. So I have to actually pay for that education now. So my next mentor, when I'm thinking of who I'm trying to find, is actually someone who's running a business between £3 and £5 million. That'll be someone who's a step ahead of me, who's running a great business, knows all the groundwork from getting past £1 million and now going into that £3 million range. And that is a skill set that I need lacking, that I'm actually lacking. So I'm looking for that type of mentor. Now, if you feel like if you're watching this video and you feel like you're that type of figure, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to hear you out and more than happy to hear about your company. But the video is not for that. It's not for me searching for a mentor. It's me thinking in the back of my mind, for me to find my next mentor now, I have to actually pay that person. And the type of money that that person's going to be charging when they're running a company of £5 million a year is not going to be small change. They're probably going to want £10,000, £20,000 for giving up their time to mentor me, because it's got to be worth their while. I know, obviously, you see Alex Hormozi paid $120,000 to Grant Cardone for 4 hours of calls. Now, that to most people would seem obscene, but percentage to what they're earning and what they'll gain from that call, that's a fair trade. So if he's going to give him advice that'll make him 10 million, 20 million, or grow his business now from, like he's doing, from 100 million to 1 billion, that's a fair trade for him to have that call. And for me now, is find the right people to put around me so they can guide me, because I don't know it all. I'm a great mentor and people pay me for mentorship for getting their business up until £1 million. But now who's going to mentor me from 3 to 5 million? That's going to be my goal now. And that's my mentoring history. That's the mentors that I've had. And that's what's got me up to this point. And I do think finding the right people at the right time, it's always for a reason. You always find them and they're always going to fast track you. So if you find someone that you connect with, you watch their content online, it doesn't have to be mine. It is really for your success. So if you find someone that you really connect with, I want you to get in touch with them and see if they can mentor you. There's often times that you can meet and they can mentor you for free. But often I think when you're paying for it, it just means that much more to you. If you think that I could be a good fit for you and you want to actually speak more so I can actually help your business, there's a link below. You can book a call. I offer consultation calls on the Gather Growth website, and I offer monthly business coaching as well. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can receive a notification for when these videos come out. And thank you for listening.